From the deserts of Arabia to the walls of ancient empires, the pages of history echo with the courage, wisdom, and unshakable faith of the great Muslim leaders who shaped our world. Their stories are more than just battles and victories. They're powerful lessons in honor, justice, and sheer determination. Welcome to Echoes of Salahuddin, where we journey through the legends of the past, uncovering the lives of the heroes whose legacy still inspires millions today. We'll explore their triumphs, their struggles, and the principles they lived by. These aren't just tales from long ago. They're a source of inspiration for our own lives. Join us as we bring these incredible stories to light and discover the timeless wisdom they hold. Salahuddin Ayyubi, mercy in the midst of battle. Have you ever heard a story from the Crusades that completely flips the script on what you thought you knew? During the intense siege of Acre, a Frankish woman's world fell apart when her 3-month-old baby was snatched from her tent. Imagine the terror. Desperate, she did something unbelievable. She went to the enemy leader, the great Salahuddin himself, and begged for his help. Moved by her tears, Salahuddin didn't see an enemy. He saw a mother in pain. He immediately sent his men searching. They found the baby, sold in a slave market for just a few coins. Without a second thought, Salahuddin used his own money to buy the child back. He personally returned the baby to his mother's arms, but he didn't stop there. He gave her food, supplies, and a safe escort back to her camp. This remarkable act of kindness and compassion towards an enemy earned Salahuddin great respect and admiration from the Crusaders themselves. Salahuddin Ayyubi, how he protected the wife of a Crusader lord. Ever heard of a warrior showing incredible kindness to his enemy's wife, right in the middle of a brutal war? Let me tell you about the legendary Salahuddin. In 1183, during the Crusades, Salahuddin's army captured the formidable castle of Karak. Inside, they found the wife of his arch-nemesis, Reynold of Chatillon. Now, you'd expect a harsh outcome, right? But Salahuddin did something completely unexpected. He treated her with the utmost respect, provided her with a personal escort, and ensured she was safely returned to her people. This wasn't just a random act of kindness. It was a testament to Salahuddin's deep commitment to chivalry and Islamic values of compassion and honor. This incredible story, recorded by his own biographer, shows that even in the darkest times, true leaders can choose mercy over vengeance. It's a powerful reminder of the humanity that can exist even on the battlefield. Salahuddin and the King of England, honor in the Crusades. Hey everyone, and welcome back. Today, we're re-diving into one of history's most fascinating rivalries, the epic showdown between Richard the Lionheart and the great Sultan Salahuddin. This wasn't just a clash of armies. It was a clash of titans, full of unexpected twists and a surprising amount of respect. Our story kicks off at the Battle of Arsif, a pivotal moment in the Third Crusade. Richard's Crusader forces, a mix of English, French, and other European knights, squared off against Salahuddin's powerful Ayyubid army. Richard, a tactical genius, led his troops to a decisive victory. It was a major win that showcased his military brilliance. But Salahuddin was no ordinary opponent. Though his army was defeated, he managed to escape, regroup, and keep the fight going. Now, this is where it gets really interesting. Despite being sworn enemies on the battlefield, these two leaders developed a relationship built on courtesy and honor. Most of their communication went through Salahuddin's brother, Aladil, who the Crusaders called Safaddin. Imagine this. Richard falls seriously ill, probably with malaria. What does his enemy do? Salahuddin sends him fresh fruit, snow from the mountains, and ice to help cool his fever. He literally sent his rival a medieval get-well-soon package, and it didn't stop there. During another fierce battle at Jaffa, Richard's horse was killed from under him. Seeing this, Aladil, on Salahuddin's behalf, sent a fresh Arabian war horses straight to Richard, his opponent, in the middle of the fight. They were constantly sending messengers back and forth, discussing peace terms, prisoners, and the big question: who would control Jerusalem? Richard even had messengers who spoke Arabic, making these complex negotiations possible. He once made a wild proposal that his own sister, Joan, should marry Salahuddin's brother, Aladil, and they could rule Jerusalem together. This was likely just a clever negotiating tactic, and Joan herself shot it down, but it shows the creative lengths they went to. Eventually, their negotiations led to the Truce of Ramla. This agreement didn't give the Crusaders control of Jerusalem, but it did something crucial. It allowed unarmed Christian pilgrims to safely visit the city and its holy sites. This truce was a major turning point, showing that even in the heat of a holy war, diplomacy and mutual understanding could prevail. Through it all, their respect for each other never wavered. Richard openly acknowledged Saladin as a worthy adversary and a noble leader. Their encounter has become a legendary tale of chivalry, honor, and respect that transcended their deep-seated differences, proving that even the fiercest enemies can find common ground. Saladin's mercy, the noble capture of Jerusalem. History often remembers conquerors for their brutality, but every now and then, a figure emerges who changes the narrative completely. One such leader was Saladin, whose capture of Jerusalem in 1187 stands as a remarkable testament to mercy and chivalry, especially when you compare it to the horrifying bloodbath that occurred when the Crusaders first took the city 88 years earlier. Let's set the scene. It is 1187. Saladin's forces have decisively defeated the Crusader army at the Battle of Hattin, and now stand at the gates of the holy city, Jerusalem. The Christian defenders, led by Balian of Ibelin, brace for the worst. They remember the stories of their ancestors, who, in 1099, waded through streets flowing with the blood of the city's Muslim and Jewish inhabitants. A repeat of that horror seemed inevitable, but Saladin was a different kind of conqueror. Instead of ordering an all-out assault that would have resulted in a massacre, Saladin entered into negotiations with Balian. He agreed to a peaceful surrender. His terms were clear. The city would be spared, and its inhabitants could buy their freedom. The alternative was a brutal siege and certain death for everyone inside. Balian, knowing he couldn't win, accepted. This decision alone saved countless lives and prevented the city from being reduced to rubble. The ransom terms were set: 10 dinars for every man, 5 for every woman, and 2 for every child. Those who couldn't afford to pay would face enslavement. It sounds harsh by modern standards, but in the context of medieval warfare, it was an incredibly lenient arrangement. Remember, the standard practice was to either kill or enslave the entire population of a conquered city. Saladin was offering a way out, but this is where the story gets even more extraordinary. Saladin's mercy didn't stop with the negotiated terms. He witnessed the desperation of the people and was moved by compassion. The city's Christian patriarch and other wealthy leaders began leaving with their gold-laden carts, paying only their own ransoms, while thousands of their poor countrymen were left behind, unable to pay. Seeing this, Saladin's advisors urged him to seize their wealth, but he refused, stating that he would not go back on his word. Instead, Saladin and his brother Al-Adel began freeing thousands of people out of their own pockets. They saw the long lines of families being led into captivity and chose to personally intervene. Balian of Ibelin also played his part, using 30,000 dinars from the city's treasury to free another 7,000 of the poorest citizens. A deal Saladin readily accepted, but Saladin's personal acts of clemency are what truly cemented his legacy. He declared that all elderly people who had no hope of affording the ransom should be freed and allowed to leave without payment. He was approached by a group of weeping noblewomen, the widows and orphans of knights who had fallen in battle against his own armies. They pleaded for mercy. Instead of trading them as spoils of war, Saladin spoke to them with great courtesy, assured them of their safety, and not only freed them but also allowed them to leave with their possessions. Some were even given gifts from his own treasury. His sense of justice extended to religious matters as well. While he restored Muslim holy sites like the Dome of the Rock and Al-Aqsa Mosque to their original purpose after they had been converted to churches, he didn't persecute the Christians who remained. He understood Jerusalem's importance to multiple faiths. He allowed Eastern and Orthodox Christians to stay in the city and continue to worship at their holy sites, while Western, or Frankish, Christians were generally required to pay a fee for pilgrimage. The doors to the city were not slammed shut. Saladin's conduct in 1187 created a powerful legacy that resonated across the medieval world. Even his Christian enemies couldn't help but acknowledge his honor. His actions stand in stark, dramatic contrast to the barbarity of the First Crusade. He proved that victory didn't have to be defined by slaughter, and that a conqueror could be both powerful and merciful. It is a story of chivalry and compassion that shines brightly in a period of history often defined by its darkness. Thanks for watching. If you found this story as fascinating as I do, make sure to like this video and subscribe for more deep dives into history's most incredible moments.